You.
What's up, everybody? Back to the home studio for another episode of the Cream City Curveball. I'm your main man, Justin, down here in North Carolina.
Man, pipe bomb in the good land.
Man, the good land. What a time to be in the good land, man. Great. We got a lot of stuff lined up for you, but real quick, Pipe, and this completely just veer off the beginning. You know, if they talk about swerving, the MPD would have probably pulled me over because I went from the left lane to the right lane. Couple quick things I want to get to real quick, though. First of all, one of our subscribers, my boy Aaron in Appleton, happy, we'll call it his 21st birthday, right? And then one quick thing, and if you make the switch after the last pitch, Tim Allen and Aaron did a phenomenal job on the show, but Harley said something that really resonated with me. And here at Cream City Curveball, we don't care what side of the aisle you are on, but definitely want to just give a thoughts and prayers out to those 3 soldiers who lost their life yesterday. If you agree with the war, if you don't, we're not here to talk about that. We just want to make sure that those people who don't have brothers, husbands, family members, sisters, whatever the case may be, you're in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely well said. Support the troops always. So they're not the ones who make the call whether to go in or not go in. They just do the hard jobs that we all benefit from. So T's and P's to their family, and rest in peace, man. Heroes for sure.
Absolutely, man. Let's get to it a little bit, Pipe Bomb. We're here. If you just got done listening to Pipe Bomb on the post-game show, if you just got done watching the Milwaukee Brewers sweep the Miami Marlins, like and subscribe for that, right, Pipe? They need to like and subscribe.
Amen.
The vibes for me, Pipe, are just crazy, man. You see, we changed the background up. A little Wild Bill walk-off today. Let's start with today and work our way backward. How about that, Pipe? So I thought an absolute pitching effort today. Robert Gasser did his thing. Estoy Ruiz is the only run until Wild Bill went crazy? I mean, how crazy is that? Never in my life did I ever think we'd say Ruiz is the reason why the Marlins won a game in this series. Grant Anderson, Aaron Ashby, Chad Patrick. Am I forgetting anybody? Great pitcher performance. And we'll get to the 6th inning in a second, but what did you see today, bro?
Yeah, it was nice for the Brewers to be able to sit there and finish off the sweep. Obviously, you wanted the offense to do something before the bottom of the 9th, but so it goes. And, Tim was talking about it on the post-game show, the only one that matters. That this is not the same crappy Marlins team that it's been for years and years and years. Be that as it may, the fact that we didn't score today until the bottom of the 9th. Friday's game was a 1-run win. And then yesterday we were blowing them out until we weren't, and that turned into a nail biter. I do want to see the Brewers beat the fish up a little bit more than they did this weekend.
I was just going to say, Yoho?
Yeah. Yeah, well, but Yoo-Hoo pitched good the day before that. He had a clean inning the game before it. And, they bring him out yesterday. And you're like, oh, maybe could he stack good performances? He could not. And, that game got close. And you needed McGill when you really shouldn't have had to use him. It got ridiculous yesterday.
Let's stick right here on a couple things, though, because I think you're spot on. First of all, you got me so thrown off. Yoho. Yeah. The inning before, though, he pitched a great inning. I think it was like 7 or 8, maybe 9 pitches tops. Phenomenal inning. And then you felt like, and if you listen to Murphy on the postgame as well, he was like, you had to leave him out there. And I agree with Murphy. He should have been able to do that. There was somewhere on the road trip where Yoho threw, that was the first Pittsburgh Pirates game. He threw 2 good innings. Now, these Marlins, though, bro, I agree with Tim, and I agree with a lot of people, man. They're not our Marlins, our era Marlins, right? You got Jeff Conine's son out there. How crazy is that? But we faced 3 aces. Those 3 pitchers, I would put those starting 3 pitchers up against anybody's rotation, including the Dodgers. 1 through 3, the Marlins are amazing with their pitching. And we tattooed Buddy yesterday. Game 1, he's an old Cy Young winner. I'm forgetting his dude's name. It's all good. And then today, Buddy already dominated us once this year, and we came back and found a way to get this guy, man. And I'm just thrilled about that. But you're not wrong, but you're not right either.
Well, very rarely am I right about anything. Just ask my wife. But to me, the Marlins are always going to be one of those teams that the Brewers should be head and shoulders above. Whether that's right or wrong, they're one of those teams that doormat forever. Granted, they've got 2 World Series in their pockets, which drives you nuts.
I was about to say.
I still don't know how the hell that happened. But it is what it is. I am concerned, now. With the Brewers, you had Sal Frelick go on the IL. I'd like Terang seems to be a little banged up here. I would like to see a bat come along. We were hoping, and it looked very promising that was going to be Cooper Pratt when he got brought up. He I think went 0 in his first game and then got hot. Well, he's been cold for a long time now. Is Lara the answer? Doesn't appear to be. You can't expect either one of those guys to step in and play that big of a role, being as young as they are. But this offense has to get better. Yelich continues to struggle, and whatever. But I'll tell you, Type 1, not only with the stick, he's up there. So man, he's so awesome at the plate right now. And his defense is sick. He won us the game, saved the game yesterday on a couple different occasions. Have yourself a Garrett Mitchell weekend, because man, was he awesome.
Yeah, his approach at the plate has been absolutely amazing. He's going to left field and stuff like that. I guess where I would push back, Pipe, and I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. You got 2 aces that they kind of held him in check. And then yesterday was a good pitcher, and we put up a young Jeezy. Pipe, you know what those are?
What's that?
Young Jeezy. Shout out to my St. Augustine's college golf team, man. We used to call it Young Jeezy on the golf course when you made it 8. We called it a Young Jeezy because his nickname is a snowman. So we put up the Jeezy on the Miami Marlins of Florida, or whatever the heck their stupid name is. Probably one of the best stadiums I've been to, but the worst at the same time. You can go to left field, and it's an absolute nightclub. And, yeah, never mind. We ain't going to talk about that. Get in trouble. Anyways. But Pipe, you're not wrong, but these are some studs we went up against. So let's see what happens. Now, yesterday, I 1,000% agree with you. Garrett Mitchell, have yourself a day, a career. If this is the guy that we thought he was, the MLB has to look out, and we have a plethora of talent. We're log jammed at every single position. You have, and Tommy talked about it when he was on us. Outfielder here, outfielder there, shortstop here, shortstop there. Hell, we just drafted 2 shortstops from the same DNA. It's a great time. These guys are playing good baseball. 3 in a row. And if you're getting upset at us because it seems like we're nitpicking, we are. Because we have to. We watch every pitch. And one last thing, and I get out of here, pipe off of this one. If you follow me on Twitter at RatedRNoop414, what's yours, my brother?
Jeff_Orlowski.
And those people that hacked us can go to hell. Just public service announcement every single time. If you follow me on Twitter and you see me tweet something negative about the Brewers, I do not believe it. I'm an idiot, and I think that my negative tweet or my negative text to Pipe or my negative phone call to Pipe is going to turn the mantra of the game. So you saw that a couple times during the Marlins season, right? Today, I don't even know if the tweet went out because the golf course we played was so out in the middle of the country, but I tweeted out every single series the Brewers are going to have one of these games. It's not real negative. I believe we will come back, and I believe we'll win the World Series. Go ahead, Pipe. Sorry.
Yeah, no, anybody who's been listening, to us or follows you, but has heard your years and years and years of calls on all the shows, knows that you're very, very positive, one of the most positive Brewer fans out there. I can vouch for you that we'll do the negative thing sometimes just to try to break the 0 for 800 at the plate that the Brewers were in. They had I think one hit up until the 6th or 7th inning or something today. Like, it was just absolutely brutal. So we'll send texts to each other like, "Oh yeah, this is over," and all this kind of stuff, trying to change the mojo. So yeah, no, you're 100% right. You do that a lot. I do that sometimes, but obviously we're always pulling for the crew to pull it out and get wins.
So don't get in our mentions if you hear something negative, because it's not true. Heck, I even love the fat broads. How much more positive can you get?
Hey, they're beautiful too.
Let's look forward to the next series. We got the New York Metropolitans coming to town. Only thing they have in connection with winning on that team right now is the fact they have the same colors as the New York Knickerbockers. Just an absolute struggle fest. David Stearns is looking like he doesn't know what he was doing, and he was one of the best general managers that was in town. Monday, we have your boy, Freddy Peralta, Fastball Freddy, as Tim would call him, first inning Freddy, in town to face Jacob Mizorowski. Brewers kind of moved up Miz. Well, I'm not going to say they moved up his start, but he's starting against the Miz. Miz had comments today on the interview. I forgot who interviewed him, but he said, he loved Freddy Peralta, thought Freddy Peralta was a great guy, loved him, but he's on the other team. He's an op, so we have to kick his ass. What are you feeling about Mets coming up, Pipe? What are you feeling about Miz versus Freddy, and how you feeling on everything?
Especially tomorrow. Obviously, this is a series. You look at the Mets on paper, and they look like a decent ball club, and they have for the last handful of years. You put them out on the field, and they suck, and they have for the last handful of years. Why is that the case? Who knows? Are we going to argue? No. As long as they don't start being good these next 3 days. You can do whatever you want after that. You're probably too far behind to sit there and do anything, which is good. But, just don't be good the next 3 days. As far as tomorrow's game, Miz against, I forgot that guy's name, sort of looks familiar. But just be extra patient at the plate. You know that there's going to be a 37 pitch inning, and I would imagine that Freddie, I don't think he goes more than 3 or 4 innings tomorrow. So I would just be very patient, man, especially in the first. How many times have we sat through a 27 pitch, no run first inning from Freddy Peralta? But, get the pitches and let's go feast on that pen, especially in game 1, man. If we can get to that pen early and kind of wear that pen out, put a big dent into it, make them throw a lot of innings tomorrow, that just helps us the next 2 games. And so let's get into the pen early tomorrow and then put the hurting on them all to set ourselves up good for the next 2 after tomorrow. But Brewers will win tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, Freddie coming back. I hope all you Brewers fans give the man a standing ovation. He was nothing but class for us, and he deserves it. Only thing that I'd push back on is I'm a little bit nervous, man, because one thing about Freddie, you're right, he does have those big innings and stuff like that, but there's also a little bit of zeal in him that can occasionally get up for one of these huge starts and go crazy. I mean, wasn't he our winner in the playoffs against the Chicago Cubs last year?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we don't see that, Freddie, man. I really do hope the best for Freddie. I hope the best for all the guys. Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, Drew Rasmussen, anybody that played for the Brewers that came through our minors, Lowe, whatever the case may be, except when you play the Milwaukee Brewers, of course. So let me get to another one then, Pipe. Since we're on the Freddy Peralta kick right now, what do you feel, what are you willing to give up to bring him back into a Brewers uniform, if anything?
I'd give up some used sunflower seed shells. Go take out a little handheld vacuum. Sit there and just vac them up from the bottom of the dugout. Maybe trade those for them. Listen, Freddie was great when he was here. Do I wish him well now that he's gone? Not particularly. He was a good dude. Great in the clubhouse. Great with the media. Great with all the players. On the Brewers and everything. And I appreciate what he did when he was here. Now that he's gone, I haven't thought about freaking Freddy Peralta except, when you hear like, oh shit, he's off to a terrible start. Oh, does Freddy suck now? Oh my God, his season's so bad. Do you think we can get him back? Why do you want him back when he's sucking this bad? And if anybody's going to fix him, I'm sure, the home used to be home cooking here with Hook and team him back up with Contreras and all that kind of stuff. There's no way that he would pitch as bad or worse if he came back to Milwaukee than he is in New York right now. I just don't see what the upside is because I don't think he's going to be able to turn it like that and all of a sudden become a serviceable starter again anytime this season.
Yeah, shockingly, I actually 100,000% agree with you on that. I don't think that Freddie can just hit the switch and all of a sudden come back and be fastball Freddie. I think right now he's struggling, man. And I don't think Chris Hook and Jim Henderson, I may be wrong about this, I don't think they have enough time to fix him. I think he's too far gone. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm really doubting the best bullpen coach and the best pitching coach in all of baseball, and I think they've been that way for a while. But we'll see, man. If we give up something, if we gave up Jaden Fielder for McCullers and whoever else that came in with him, it has to be somewhere along that lines where we give up a low-A guy that has maybe a little bit of promise but doesn't have a lot of substance to them. Currently in the mix, in my opinion. Another guy, real quick, I want to get to you with you on trades, man. Mason Miller, am I saying his name right?
Mm-hmm.
San Diego Padres reliever. I think he'll have a king's ransom. We talked about on our last show what it would take to get James Wood or C.J. Abrams in the Brewers uniform. So where are you at with Mason Miller? Do you want to see him? And what are you willing to part with for him?
Basically, I want anybody who can make a difference. Whether, I do think they still need one bullpen arm. And I do think that they need a bat. And it's hard, especially after watching this. We watched the 3 games getting swept in against Pittsburgh, heading into the break, and then these 3 games against the Fish. 2 out of the 3 you were offensively struggled. The 3 games against Pittsburgh, there was no offense, and so I want a bat, I want a bullpen arm. Do I want to sit here and go through every freaking name? No, I want a decent player who's going to make a difference and not have to give up everything. The same as everybody. But, I don't play I'm going to throw out 15 names because at the end of the day, we cheer for the Brewers. We know that they're going to pick up Chad Smith, a reliever who, oh yeah, man, I think I remember him. Didn't he pitch for Oakland and San Francisco? And didn't he have a short time, with Texas maybe? One of those dudes. It'll be, yeah, I think I heard of that guy, and then everybody quickly does their research.
Oh, well, he throws a B-plus fastball. He really knows how to locate on the inside corner, and he's really tough against lefties on a Wednesday if he cuts the grass that morning.
And everybody thinks they got all these stats and shit, know who this guy is, and it's just a freaking roll of the dice. That's what the Brewers are going to do. We'll see. Do I expect them to pick up any legit, like real serious late bullpen, high leverage kind of dude? No, I don't, because, they haven't done it since CC.
Fair point. Only took 19 and 5 seconds for the voice to come out today. That might be a world record of longevity for the voice to come out, bro. So, speaking, you mentioned the arms coming off, or arms that we need and stuff like that. DL Hall made a relief appearance for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers today. I believe David Hamilton is somewhere making a relief or an injured. What do you call it? He's making a rehab start. There you go. Can't talk. Man, that's why you don't play golf in 100-degree weather, bro. Like, your whole brain is just gone. So DL Hall coming back, David Hamilton coming back. Is DL Hall enough of the punch to come back to kind of flip things in the bullpen? I'm excited about it. Second left-hander can take some of that work off of Ashby, and I think Ashby becomes much more effective once DL Hall comes back.
You know, DL, I'm on the fence with him. You know,
You're on the DL?
Yeah, you know, we've seen some good, we've seen some bad. We've seen some hurt, we've seen some healthy. What I would like to have happen is for Hall to come back, get into a couple games, and if he has good results, I immediately throw Ashby on the IL, give him a break, and I would ride DL for that 2 weeks or, you know, even 3 weeks. Give Ashby enough time to sit there and rest his arm back up for the stretch run. And then as soon as Ashby's ready and rested and ready to come back, then I can give two craps about what happens to Hall. You know, if he was a righty, no one would care about him. The only reason why we care is because he's a lefty.
I do think you need another lefty in that bullpen, a strong lefty, though. Not just a left-handed arm that's going to throw there and or sit there and throw softball pitches down the middle that can get rocked to the I don't even know what the restaurant's called in left field anymore, but you know what I'm talking about. RIP TGI Fridays in left field. Yeah, I'm with you. David Hamilton, I think he'd come back. He'd be really serviceable. You need a contact guy and stuff like that. You need a guy that can bunt and get the runners up and stuff like that. We saw that last night where Bryce Terang did it. One great bullpen arm that we had today was Grant Anderson with the win. I think Timmy alluded to it as well. His inning, along with all the other pitchers, but Grant had the win, so just spend a quick second there. Grant's inning to get out of that so quickly and to make sure, and I know we almost thought one left apart, thank God for Laura. Every one of these pitchers is cognizant why we won, but I just want to give my boy Grant a super shout out because I thought it was a hell of an inning, and even Ashby was a hell of an inning. You know, did you know, shout out to Tim and them on the show and Aaron, I didn't realize Ashby's whip is 1.43. And for our novice folks that listen to us, we're not going to bore you with a bunch of stats. But basically, whip means walks and hits an inning pitched. So every time Aaron comes out of that bullpen, there's at least a guy on base. That is pretty bad for a reliever.
Yeah, it's not great, but at the end of the day, the results are there. You know, it seems like if he does give up runs, if he comes in up 4 and gives up 1, is that a bad outing? Not necessarily. He got you 3 outs closer. So I give Ashby a lot of slack, a lot of leeway because of how much he's used. And the fact that, they tried him as a starter and that was always a disaster. I'm just glad that, A, they stuck with him because I was 100% wrong. I was all out on the Aaron Ashby experience. The Brewers sticking with him, turning him into, not only a serviceable bullpen arm, but a reliable and semi-high leverage. We're not talking 8th and 9th, but we're talking 6th and 7th inning dude. So I think that's great. So, I like Ashby, man. I give him a lot of credit because, like I said, he's there and he answers the bell every single day.
There's no pushback for me on that one. I mean, Aaron Ashby I think he's one of our better relievers. I think the guy should have been an all-star. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that. All-star snub, Aaron Ashby, especially because when the voting went out, it was maybe a week or so before everything kind of blew up on him. But he'll get better. Hopefully the whip will come down, and you can, by the time at the end of the year, we're talking about DL Hall pitching phenomenally and Aaron Ashby. Let's stick right here on this injured list for a second. One of the newest members to this injured list, 15-day DLer, is Sal Frelick. We bring back Blake Perkins back from Nashville. I think Blake is really getting some frequent flyer miles as much as he's been up and down this year. What do you feel about Sal going down, and how do you feel about Blake coming back?
Who cares about Blake? As far as Sal, it's a tough hit. Him getting hurt and all that. I guess it kind of makes sense, because he had such a great year last year, and then he just did not seem like the same lasagna boy that we watched all last season. So maybe this is something he's been dealing with for a long time. That would be my guess for why why his production tanked as much as it did. So, I think this is kind of a blessing in disguise. Let Sal sit down, get some rest, get healed up, and then let the real Sal Frelick show up. And, hopefully after a few weeks eating mom's red sauce and noodles and garlic bread and shit like that, the guy comes back and starts smoking the ball all over the field and gets back to playing the Sal that we know and love.
Yeah, we saw a brief glimpse of it in the Pittsburgh series right before the All-Star game when we took that lead, and he had a rocket shot out of there. I'm in agreement with you. We need more of that Sal back. And the other positive about it is Laura will get to play some everyday baseball now, and hopefully he'll get a chance to shine. Because if we keep inserting these guys out and keep everybody fresh and healthy, that is exactly what the Los Angeles Dodgers did last year. They brought guys in and out, and they were primed up and ready to go for the World Series championship that they won last year. So hopefully that could be us this year, and our focus can be bigger and grander than just an NLDS series, right?
Yeah, I hope so. You got to have Sal being old Sal, or you got to make a move for a big time right fielder. I do like this, and yes, it's great because Lara gets more playing time. I like this because it means that Bowers is going to be out in right field more often, and we'll have Vaughn and Bowers in the lineup at the same time, which is something that a lot of us have been, clamoring for a long time now. And so I think that that's good. Obviously, with Lara, it's great that he's going to have more playing time, more consistent playing time. Because when you get a young guy like that who's just coming up, just gets called up, you can't just sit him on the bench. That's the reason why, and I know that Pratt's gotten a couple days off here and there lately because of his struggles and stuff. But, they've got to play because otherwise you might as well just leave them in AAA and let them get time. They need to, hone their craft. And why are you going to bring them up if they're not going to face big league pitching? Because this is what hopefully they're going to be doing for the next 15 years. So I think that's a good thing. It's good all around. Let Sal heal up, man, and hopefully it doesn't take more than a couple weeks, and hopefully he's back to ripping the cover off the ball, because we all know what great defense and what a hard-nosed player that he is.
Yeah, one of my favorite Brewers, man. He does a great job, man. And you mentioned Jake Bowers, and holy struggle bus. If there's anybody happy to see Miami get out of town, it's him. What a rough go of it. But like I said earlier, I'm not going to beat him up too bad because I think they have great pitchers. But let's stick right here on this struggle for a second. The moment of truth. I don't know if we've talked about it. Maybe we have. Christian Yelich. Great double yesterday. Phenomenal hitting piece. And his leadoff hitter, though, he is as cold as 27th and Capitol Boulevard on January 8th, 2026. Just freezing. I was kind of hoping we'd sit Yelly down for a little bit, allow him to reset and refresh. Tim mentioned it. He's been in the game almost every single game. Where you at with Yelly, bro?
Man, his average is all the way down to 240 now. How much lower is it going to go? And the fact that he is, for what seems like written in pen, at the top of the lineup, like
permanent marker.
What are we doing? You want to bat him 6th, 7th, okay. But to sit there and just, have that big a dead weight in your leadoff hole, I think, causes a lot of problems. Like I said, I am not the most patient of fan. And, I was definitely not patient on Aaron Ashby. I want to say pull the trigger and, sit Yelly down for a few days, let him try to get his brain right and all that. The problem with that I see with that, I would just move him down, man. Hit him 6, hit him 7, hit him 8. I don't care. But I wouldn't take him completely out of the lineup because once he gets rolling and rolling hot, you're going to need that. If we have any pie in the sky hopes of taking a series against LA or Atlanta or any of the other teams that we're going to have to get through in the playoffs to get to what we hope is the ultimate goal, we're going to need a Christian Yelich on this squad, and we're going to need Yelly playing good. So I wouldn't take him completely out of the lineup. I'd just bump his ass way down in it.
And then would you let him back up once he recovers and he's going hot, or are you going to keep him there for the rest of the year?
Well, see what happens. But I would. Probably I would let him back up.
I'd say if anybody on his team can work themselves out of a slump, it's Christian Yelich. So he's been doing it for so long, carried the Brewers for a long time prior to knee injuries and stuff like that. We just really got to get him up and cooking with gas. So you're right. And I do think that it could be a knock to Christian's ego. However, I do think he's a front of the jersey type guy. You saw when someone else left and went to Miami, he mentioned that he wanted to finish in Milwaukee. And I think as we get older and as our athletic prowess kind of leaves our body, we understand that it may not be the best thing for the Milwaukee Brewers ball club.
Well, hopefully with Yelly, he came with low Kane. We saw Kane at the end of his run. He batted basically in every position, every order spot in the lineup. And when Low Kane was struggling, man, they busted him way down in the order. Like, way down in the order. And he was the consummate professional, and he took it like a man. He didn't complain. He didn't bitch. He still tried to, sit there and go out day in, day out and get the job done, no matter where he was hitting in the lineup. So, will it be a blow to his ego? Maybe. I hope not. But either way, suck it up and deal because, you're still under contract, man. There's expectations for you. We all know you're getting older and all that, but you're well paid. It's time to sit there and start hitting. So, if you get knocked down and all of a sudden bruised ego comes in, I don't want to hear none of that crap.
Yeah, Low Kane was such a stalwart on his team as well. You're absolutely right about that. But you remember the first City Connect jersey that you passed on? He was one of the ones that they manufactured on the first three. It was Yelly, it was Low Kane. I don't think there even was a third one. So that just shows you how far that fall from grace was. I think Yelly will do it, man. He has to do it. We need it. We need him. Let me get to the thing, and I know I switched the order on you, so my apologies, but you're the best curveball hitter on the team. You're Garrett Mitchell. So I don't know if we're going to close all the way out, but I think it's an appropriate time to take a little deep breath, a pause, moment of silence, whatever you call it, for our guy Brandon Woodruff. Again, man, put on the injured report, 60-day DL, shoulder surgery again. Season is done. And he had a lot of good things to say, and he didn't say that it was over. He didn't say he was retiring. For me, Brandon Woodruff is probably one of my favorite Brewers of all time. There's a difference between talking it, like someone else did in Milwaukee, you know what I'm talking about, and living it. Brandon lived it. Consummate professionals, carried the city of Milwaukee on their back. Great bobblehead he had with the home run off of Clayton Kershaw. I mean, if that is the last time we see Brandon Woodruff in a Brewers uniform, there's nothing else I need for you other than to sit in that dugout and get ready to drink a hell of a lot of beer on Wisconsin Avenue.
Yeah, he's one of the dudes that you genuinely feel bad for. I just wonder when it's all said and done if we're going to look at Brandon Woodruff like we look at Nick Collins. One of those, what might have been if he could have just stayed healthy. The fact that it's back to the same injury that he had repaired before, almost a 2-year absence with it that time. What is he now, 32, I want to say? So if he takes another 2-year to come back from this one, all of a sudden he's coming back at 34, 35. you know, it sucks because he, you know, well, first of all, congratulations on the new kid and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
But it sucks, you know, that he cost himself and his family so much money, man. If he could have just stayed healthy through this season, oh, it would have been raining cash. And, you know, look at Freddy Peralta, same thing, man. If he didn't suck this season, you know, he's costing himself millions every time he goes out there and blows up on the mound.
Throw Devin Williams in there, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of these guys, and I don't blame a single one of them for leaving. Willie Adames, I'm so glad he got paid. What happened once he left town, too? Just straight downhill. What happened to Caleb Durbin? He's bouncing back now. But, man, for months and months and months this season, he was dog doo. And so, you know, whatever it is in the Milwaukee, we got some magic going on. Maybe it's just a little bit of that Canadian smoke up in the air. Who knows? But, you know, something makes these guys play good here. And then once they leave, it ain't so good.
Well, speaking of smoke, I hope you and your family and everyone else is safe with that stuff. With the
please,
smoke.
Everybody's safe. All you people bitching about it, you're the same idiots who complain that, oh, it's so hot. Oh, so hot today. And then for 5 months in winter,
Oh my God, it's so cold. I will never complain again about the heat.
and then, you know, 2 months down the road, you're complaining about the heat again. So, you know, shut up. You know, I was sitting there, I had the news on there, some guy out there.
Oh, did you know, like, if you go outside because of these Canadian wildfires, it's like, oh my God, it's like smoking like 4 or 5 cigarettes.
Yeah, you'll live if you do that too. So quit bitching. You know, does it suck? Hell yeah, it sucks. Everybody knows I don't like Canada. USA all the way, baby. But, you know, quit complaining about everything, damn it.
All right, so Pipe doesn't care if you're good or not, but Justin does. and let me summarize as well what you were talking about. So Pipe's telling you, well, first of all, Pipe's cat did not agree with his take on Canada and wildfires either. What's your cat's name, bro?
Meeps.
Shout out to Meeps, man. Meeps is the official mascot of Cream City Curveball because I don't have any pets. Well, never mind. Let's not even get in trouble. Pipe Bob just told you that the only professional to leave Milwaukee and do the same or do better is Andrew Monasterio. He is the gold standard.
Well, you know, okay, like, think about it. Like, how many have left and all of a sudden we're great? Everybody freaked out because they traded Josh Hader. And Hader ain't the same. Never was the same. Willie Adames ain't the same. You know, people
Freddy?
Trent Grisham. Oh my God, we traded Trent Grisham. Yeah, how'd that work out? You know, so
Trent had a good. Didn't he win an All-Star once? Only one that I can say that we traded that really went crazy is Drew Rasmussen for Tampa. He's a perennial All-Star every year. He went absolutely crazy, but I can't think of anybody else. You're right.
Well, and then Scooter, I think didn't he win like a batting title or something in Cincinnati after he left.
But I feel like we sucked the year when he did that. That was like during the rebuild, so I don't really count. I'm talking about guys when we were actually good.
Yeah,
like
I know.
that was before Yelly got here, I believe, and before some other guy, Locaine and those guys you mentioned. Hey man, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, if you are on YouTube, put in the comments some guys other than Rasmussen who left and went absolutely crazy. Me and Pipe would love to do it. And Pipe, I think we coming very soon in the next week or two, we're gonna do a live show. So we want you to come in with us. We want you to give your comments, type them in there, and we'll read them right live on the show, and we will interact. And maybe we'll even get a guest when we do it. Who knows? It'll be the first one, so maybe we'll do it a couple shows down the line with a guest. But I'm excited for it, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. Bring it. You know, anytime we can sit there and get more people involved in it, I'm all for that. So yeah, I can't wait.
So since we do the ranking thing and stuff like that, and all that stuff before we get out of here, why don't you rank your top 5 in order? Brewers that left and where they stand in order.
Okay, top 5 Brewers that left and where they stand. Willie Adames, don't like. Devin Williams, don't like. Josh Hader, don't like. All of them. I don't like any of them. So if I liked you, you would have stayed. Except for Colin Ray, that wasn't his choice. The Brewers let him go. But anybody else, I don't like any of them, man. I do kind of wish good things for Tyrone Taylor. I liked him. I know. T-Bone.
I think that he's kind of just meh where he is. If I had to look at one of these guys, we talked about Rasmussen. I'm probably saying his name wrong, so we're going to get killed on that. My guy would probably... Estoy Ruiz is pretty okay. So the point is, man, and I was being facetious about ranking it, but it was kind of funny, and I don't know what you're wrong about when it comes to this. Even look at managers that leave. Craig Counsell sucks. Matt Arnold sucks. I mean, not Matt Arnold, Lord have mercy. David Stearns. Jesus Christ.
David Stearns, and a perfect example of he left because he wanted the opportunity. Well, obviously, being a New York guy or whatever, wanted to go to New York, but he wanted to be a GM of a team with money. And he goes and he has endless money, and he has done jack. He's done squat since he's been there. So grass ain't always greener.
Do you think that, and that's a good thing because I want to stay there for a second. Do you think that Stearns struggles, especially because we have the Mets coming up, Stearns struggles is because of, do you think it was truthfully Matt Arnold? Or do you think he kind of got a little bit lax with the scouting and stuff like that? And he's like, oh, I'll insert this guy like we're playing the, what do you call it? I don't know. MLB The Show, MLB Baseball, whatever it is. Our day used to be Madden. Insert Madden team here, put this guy here, that guy here, and all that stuff. You have a super team. Do you think that's the issue, or do you think it was primarily Matt Arnold that kind of carried Stearns?
No, I don't think it was Arnold that carried him at all. I think he had a good run. I think that he's fishing in a different pond. The game is always changing, and it's always changing to try to take any advantage that small market teams have away from the big market teams with all the money. And why do sport leagues, why does baseball want the big market teams to do better than the small market? Because their audience is bigger. If the World Series was Tampa against Milwaukee, it would be the lowest rated World Series ever because they're two, relatively small cities in the grand scheme. If they had New York against LA, that's their dream because it's the number one and number two market. So, to sit there and say that, they don't cheer for good things. We saw it when they, Greg when he was here and held us back for years and years. He was great at roster manipulation. And so then they sat there and they pretty much put an end to that. Now all of a sudden you don't get the 40-man later in the season and all that kind of stuff. And you took away a lot of what he could do right because you saw that he was so good at it and it was hurting the big market team. So they took that away. So I forgot what the
three-batter rule.
Three-batter rule, all that kind of stuff. So, they keep trying to change it. So I don't know what the magic that the Brewers have is. There's definitely something. Look at the free agents that left. Looked at Stearns. These guys aren't doing what they can't recreate the magic anywhere else.
What was that left-hand dude that played for the Mets that we hated? And he, the year when the Mets, Willie Adames almost got in a fight with him. Oh,
is that McNeil?
No, he was a Brewer. McNeil was. Oh man, put that in the chat too, man. I can see this guy's face. He's a left-handed batter. Greg refused to pull him and put him in that playoff lineup. Timmy tried to kind of say maybe he had a hunch that he was going to go yard.
Oh, Winker.
Yeah, there you go. Jesse Winker, yeah. I mean, look at that guy, man. Is he still even in baseball?
Dude, that ass clown. I got his stupid name out of my head ASAP. That was one of the terrible memories. That guy cost me so many sleepless nights because he sucked so damn bad when he was here. And then he goes to the Mets, had a couple hits, and wants to act like he did something. Dude just stole all our money and then goes to New York, has a couple hits in a playoff game, and wants to pound his chest. He still sucks. I hate him. What a horrible human.
It never had a hit since then, I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so
man.
either.
That's probably your only ever Jesse Winker mention we'll ever have on this show.
No, I hope
Ever
so.
again. My apologies. Look at you, man. Shout out to the pipe bomb coming through with the random left field comment here, man. We tried to get Frank Zombo the other day, man. You mentioned something earlier about Nick Collins. And you know where they could catch some Packers talk, right, bro?
Where would that be?
Crim City Chalk Talk with myself, the living legend, Pipe Bomb, and our guy Justice. I guess we're Justin from North Carolina and Justice from North Carolina. Two guys from Milwaukee that moved down here to Carolina with a living legend. And if you like to see these guys disagree and tell me I'm dumb all the time, tune in. Because I don't agree with anything they say. I don't even like those damn guys. They just talk about Matt LaFleur and everybody else. And I love Matt LaFleur. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously, tune in. We'll have a show coming up pretty soon as well. We'll get into some nitty-gritty Packers stuff. Always, Cream City crossover. Just finished up Milwaukee Bucks Summer League. Make sure you check that stuff out, man. Cream City Media Group, Pipe, we're just rocking and rolling, and we're doing big things.
Yeah, man, it's growing. It's great. It's a hell of a lot of fun. So hop on board, make sure you comment on the socials, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But send your questions, your comments, whatever. I would like to say I'm good at socials, but I'm not. But if you send, you got a question or something you want me to see and to respond to, send it on the Twitter, because I keep up on the Twitter machine a hell of a lot more than I do any of the other ones. But yeah, man, good stuff. It's a hell of a lot of fun, my brother.
And hopefully soon they'll put him on the post-game show where he can go to wherever Tim Allen is. You can call in and you can talk with the Pipe Bomb and Tim Allen. No shade to anybody else that does it, though, because I think that each one of these guys, man, give Sparky a little bit of credit, give Aaron credit, give Rami credit, give Mitch Nellis credit, even though I think he has the worst Giannis takes ever. Shout out to Mitch, though. Everybody filling in, trying to carry the load, because when you lose a cognizant piece like Tommy Warts, suddenly like that, you got to do what you got to do. And, they're kind of like the Brewers, Pipe, where they're kind of filling in. But it's time to get our guy, Pipe Bomb Mizorowski, because he's a ski too. We got to get him back on the show, man. That's just, and don't get it twisted. That is solely for me as a Brewers fan, as a Tim Allen fan, as a Pipe Bomb fan, as a WSSP fan, as a 97.3 The Game fan. Whatever you want to be a fan of, if it's from the state of Wisconsin, I don't like it. I love it.
Well, it's still the best show on the radio. With me, without me, it doesn't matter. Tim's the star on there, and the listeners and the callers are the stars. And so, whatever they do, but they've done a great job. And I still tune in every day and absolutely love it. So, good stuff still going on with that show.
I guess my last thing, and I'll yield the floor to you after I get this off and see if you got anything else before we get up out of here, man. Sports is a beautiful thing. I wouldn't have met this gentleman that I do this show with if there wasn't for sports. I wouldn't have met Justice. I wouldn't have met Trey and Chris King and JT on the basketball show, bro. I wouldn't have met Sparky. I wouldn't have met Tim Allen. I wouldn't have met some of you that listen to us. I wouldn't have met, I forget the couple, but they're in Florida and they go to Atlanta and they always ask me to come.
Nancy and Chris.
That's why he's a living legend. And my point is, man, especially, and shout out to Harley again, man, anybody that served this country, when you think about it, that there's some folks that cannot, families are waking up or are going through this troubling time, knowing that their family put everything on the line for this country. And I am just immensely thankful for you, Pipe, and all of you that listen to us, man. It's a great thing, man.
Yeah, it's weird that we're doing the Thanksgiving thing now, but you don't have to wait for Memorial Day or Armed Forces Day or Veterans Day to think about the men and women that serve our country. day in, day out, where 100 degrees, we're hanging out inside watching the Brewers, doing whatever, and they're overseas defending our freedoms. So can't thank any of the can't thank the active military, the veterans enough. You guys are absolutely all American heroes, and we love you.
We'll be back at you folks really soon, man. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be the next day, but we'll have some Mets stuff. We might go tomorrow. We might wait till the day after when Miz goes against Freddy. I think that might be a little bit better. But we will be here, and we'll have some special interviews coming up too, right, Pipe? What else you got before we get up out of here, my brother?
The Open Championship, what used to be known and rightly known as the British Open. Not my favorite major in the golf calendar.
Why?
Because it's overseas. It's not my favorite major, but it happens at my favorite time of day. The fact that you could turn it on at 2 a.m. and it's live championship, major championship golf, I love that. The fact that it was over by like noon, we know who won, and then it was over before the Brewer game. Some dude, Fox, I think, from New Zealand. Some dude ain't nobody ever heard of. But the course looked trash and all that kind of stuff, but whatever. I'm glad that the soccer's over, so no more soccer talk for 4 more years. And then, all the snobby people could pretend they like it again, and we'll go through all this crap again. But, yeah, that's about it, man. Glad the soccer's over. It would have been nice if somebody who anybody's ever heard of won a golf tournament, but whatever. At least it wasn't Rory.
I'm the worst golfer ever. I don't even watch golf on TV. So I guess Pipe Bomb's telling you we're not going to do Cream City, Charlotte, FC Charlotte talk. I don't know. I just started making up something. Yeah, so we will get you the MLS breakdowns and stuff like that. We did see Spain won it. I don't know how they won. I saw that said something about Argentina had 10 men. I know Argentina had a couple chances to kick it in the back of the goal. Looked like me my freshman year at Rufus King High School where I had a wide open goal, and I kicked it into the cornfield.
That's all right. There was probably some girls hiding in the cornfield, which is why you were kicking it, trying to chase the ball up in there.
My city ass ain't going to no cornfield with all the type of animals and stuff in there. It's amazing. I still play golf outside, bro. But, it happens, man. But, no, we really appreciate all of you for joining us today. And whenever you listen to us, we really appreciate it, man. It's a great time. It's truly an honor to do this with you, man. And, yeah, man, this is Cream City Curveball. It's a Cream City Media Group production. I'm your man, Justin, from North Carolina.
And Pipe Bomb in Milwaukee.
Free to Pipe Bomb. Go Brew Crew.